Yeah, it's got a little Christmas Day feeling, right? Training camp is truly over, right? And now in that last week, you can feel that edge building and the excitement building. The guys just everybody needs a game right now. There's games on TV. You want to get it going, so everybody's pretty excited.
Looking at this trip, nice to have two division opponents right off the bat, 2 out of 3.
Well, certainly there's a familiarity by both players, both teams of the players. Both teams have new coaches. And we're going to see that twice on this trip, so there'll be some wrinkles that probably neither team is used to seeing from with their new coaching staff. So, but good that every matchup has its own identity, right? Because each team's playing a little bit different style of game, so it's good to get in familiar territory.
And on that, nice to open up the season against the Islanders, who play a very defensive-heavy style, kind of give you guys a challenge on what you want to do on offense.
Yeah, it's going to be a great challenge for both teams. I mean, they're trying to increase their offensive output, and we're trying to make sure that we can keep ours, but add a little defensive grind to our game. So, a great challenge.
Coach, with there being so many new faces, obviously new coach, a little bit of a new system,
Yeah.
how much do you feel like you're going to be able to tell from this first road trip, kind of get a look at what you want to play like this season, kind of the identity of
So I don't know that I have high expectations that our first game is going to look exactly the way we hoped it will, because you're always expecting your best. You expect the other team's best and your best every single night. There is a learning curve when you're changing major systems. There's a little while to get there, but that's got nothing to do with the individual fight and the excitement and the speed. So we expect a whole lot of that.
How do you add defense and keep the offense, which is?
There's the best question from all summer, and that was the one we're asking. And how can we keep what they do so very well, that speed game? And some of it is off chaos, and some of it is ad lib, and it's really good. It's highly unusual that they have it. So the simplest rules possibly. We have a handful of kind of commandments in there, and one of them is don't slow your team down. Clearly there's some teaching going on when you've got some, but don't slow your team down. So we start with the simplest, most important reads in all of our systems, and we start there, and you just start adding layers once they get those basic foundational reads down. So we've had a simple camp in that, very simple things in each one of the systems that we want to cue on, we want to watch, and we'll kind of get better in the other areas, the secondary components to your systems later. But we spend a lot of time talking about exactly that.
Looking at goaltending, you got 3 games, but none back to back. Do you plan on using both guys?
I got a plan. I haven't got permission from Addy yet on what I'm allowed to say about goaltending and us. So there's still some new systems that I got to work through. So Addy hasn't told me whether I can tell you that or not yet. But I do have a plan. Yeah, Bob's going to start tomorrow. Yeah.
And getting back to the system and obviously in the playoffs you got to play a different style than the sort of the wide open that you did.
Yeah, I think the kind of the way to understand that is the things that are sometimes easy over a course of an 82 season, that just completely disappears. There's no easy ice. So the game gets played more toward the walls and heavier in the corners, and it's more of a battle game. And if you expect that and you're fine with that and you have that as part of your game, there's no reason why you can't flourish. If you rely on a rush game in the playoffs, you're going to have unless your special teams are lights out, the rush game disappears. Nobody gets caught deep. The back pressure is elite. The pressure on the puck's elite. So there's no easy ice in the playoffs. I would expect that's what we'll see, as you mentioned, from the Islanders. That's going to be kind of their hallmark. And reputations. When you score more goals than anybody else in the NHL, when the game plan against you, it's not let's go, let's trade chances end to end. They're going to try to take that game away from us. We're going to try to establish that game. But we need a place to go. The other team, as we say, the other team gets paid too. And if they've done a good job with that rush game, we still need to find a way to win that game.
So the goal this year is to keep that end game in mind, keep the playoffs how you want to play in the playoffs.
100%. We want to play a game that can be replicated in the playoffs, that we aren't making any adjustments when we go in. It is different because you can't play that. That 2-month hockey is the most brutal, and you'd have nothing left if you did that. So the game isn't played like that during the regular season. It's not out of laziness, it's out of survival. But the mentality of the game can be talked about, and we can talk about the decisions that we make and how we approach the game, which should be the exact same when we get to the playoffs. We shouldn't be adding things to a game or changing our game at that time of year.
Thanks. You asked you a lot about the first line, but what do you like about that second line? You got a couple newcomers in
Yeah.
there with Bennett in the middle.
I like what they could be. An incredible set of hands in Matthew Tkachuk, and he'll play in all the heavy areas. And I think Sam Bennett is fearless in how he plays, and I think that's what Rudy Balcers. That's what we will get him to. He'll get on the puck. He can play with speed. He can create chaos. I think that those three guys, that's a bit more of an edge line to them, and I think that can be exciting, right? It can be an identity of what they do.
What did you know about him before you got him in
Which
here?
one?
Rudy.
Played for a friend of mine, played for Pete DeMoore. And so there's a scouting report that goes in, and it was very positive of what he was able to do. And I'd seen him play in the Western Conference quite a bit, so he's quick. When he's on his game, he is explosive into holes. He can make plays. We think he can get on the puck and be a forechecker well, not necessarily as a heavy guy where he's bowling people over, but we value very highly a player's ability to get on the puck. So to get a stick on the puck, get a puck stopped, hang on to the puck, create kind of those grinding situations, we think he can do that.
Looks like a good opportunity for him here.
This is a great opportunity for him here to get to play with those two players, to be given a legitimate chance. I know he values that. He's aware of it, and he values it.
Thanks, Coach.